are you doing, beloved?
Attention, attention, my black brothers. What I want y'all to do right now is take out the do-rag, the silky, tie it down. I want to see the waves glistening. If you got nappy hair, pick it. Don't let nobody discourage you.
Ariel.
Black boy.
Sister.
So, what album describes the week you've been having?
Oh, what the hell? Okay, I gotta go through.
Bitch, you wasn't prepared for this question.
No. Oh, it's so funny because I did not see that question for some reason. I did not. Okay, so I'm gonna go off just my very gut, and it's not an album.
That's okay.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, it's an album.
Okay.
And I've been listening to this UK pop singer called Anne Marie, and the album's called "Speak My Mind," but it's this song called 2002 that I really enjoy because just like we're saying, go back to the old days. Let's go back to when things were like very cool, calm, and collected. What?
I was thinking about that. Like, that's so relevant to today's episode.
Let's just go back. Oh,
like nostalgia.
Oh.
It's so important for the
Yes.
pandemic right now.
Let's just go back. Let's just rewind time. Let's just be in 2002 when things were,
That was a good year.
Yeah.
7 years old, bitch. Ashanti had just come out with Happy. It was like a great year for music. I can remember being genuinely happy in 2002 when Ja Rule and Jennifer Lopez would play. Wow, what a time to be alive.
Got to do with it. Got to, what's love? It should be about just. It should be about just. Is it just or us?
It should be about us. It should be,
It should be about us,
babe.
babe.
But that's Ashanti. I was thinking about the other one.
Girl, it's the same person.
What's the deal with you and so? I tell them niggas mind their business, but they don't hear me though.
That's Ashanti's voice, probably.
Oh, you know what? I was like, no, girl, it's Jennifer Lopez. What are you talking about? I got you.
Ashanti's voice. Okay, so what album describes the week you've been having?
For me, I was trying to figure out which one it would be because there's so many, but I wanted to stick with Green Balloon by Tank and the Bangers because it's been I have personally felt silly, but when it comes to work, I felt lazy, I felt unmotivated. Just that album is so dynamic because it does go through like these waves. Like it's got some songs that are about intimacy, which I've dealt with this week. And then like sometimes I wanna lay. I wanna lay on the sofa. Some days I wanna lay.
Give us a concert,
sofa, nigga. That's my shit. Shout out to Robert Glasper and Miss Tariana Tank Ball. But that's what I've been feeling like this week.
That's amazing. Not amazing. That is just so that is an album that definitely is like mood. Also, I just started to listen to so much music recently. So I don't and it's really dope vibe of music right now. I just need y'all if y'all know some good music, please send it our way. We love music. So if y'all got some artists that we need to be on the look for, please send it to us. We probably already are hip to them, but please
I love that. We're probably already hip, but
we have an eclectic palette. But what is up, everybody? It is your boy lordevery,
and I'm derwinking,
and welcome back to another episode of That Black Boy Joy,
where boys can be
where we create a space. Oh,
my bad.
No, that was me. What's up, everybody? It is your boy lordevery,
and I'm derwinking,
and welcome back to another episode of That Black Boy Joy, where we create a space where black boys can be themselves
and so much more.
That literally is describing how I've been feeling, sis. All over the place. How are you feeling?
How about I couldn't even follow up? I was like, where boys can.
where boys can
wow.
be boys. Shout out to Boy Drama. How have you been, hon? How have you been?
You know what? This week has my mood was better than last week this week. But my motivation was so low and I was beating myself up about it.
My mood has been fine. There's a lot of stress coming out of nowhere for me right now, And as you all know, or most of my friends know, I have like anxiety and like in cases panic attacks. And I've had more frequent panic attacks
Oh
than I've
no.
had in the past. So definitely are about to start taking some days to
Yeah.
heal, revisit my therapist, all of that. But yeah.
Even though Omar can't make it, we still need to like figure out what this retreat time is going to look like because I have
Yeah.
enough PTO days and I would like to schedule it around a weekend, so I have a couple of them. I'm willing to use like 3 to 4 at this point cuz a bitch really needs some time off.
No, we can definitely plan it. I definitely need it as well because I am starting to feel like cabin fever,
Yeah.
like in the house. Like granted I leave occasionally, but like I just don't think I get enough fresh air to suffice.
Have you been out since the sun started coming out?
Yes, I have. I've been out and things like that, but it's just I don't know. I think it's just other things I just need to like overcome
Yeah.
and like take off my bucket list where I don't feel like I have to have a panic attack or an anxiety attack. But I'm human. I am, I'm transparent about that. But I'm definitely trying to for like persevere through that. I think it's like a mental thing for me. I do have the placebo effect mentality with my like life and like all that stuff. So I need to get over that and work through that. But other than that, like I talked about last week, am in the process of trying to get another raise for work. So that's
Yeah.
like a little stressful too, because like I really want to get it. So I want to make sure this presentation is really nice. And then there's also someone transitioning out, my supervisor. So like preparing to take on her responsibilities
Oh
and all
wow.
that. So it's just like a lot of things right now, but I'm a survivor. I really appreciate my friends that I have in my corner. I do need to lean on you all more and not in just like emergency situations because I always try to be as a strong person, but ultimately I'm human as well. So
Yeah.
that's, whew, that's that in a nutshell.
Yeah, I actually had a moment on Twitter yesterday. I was just like, "Bro, I'm tired of pretending like I'm productive, like be in a mood. Like I'm tired and I don't have much to give, and unfortunately, my job requires me to give a lot of myself, like more than
Yeah.
my time and effort. It requires me to give a lot of myself."
Yeah, no, I I get that. I think it's with I need to be with my job. I need to use my PTO. I have a shit ton of it, and I need to my job. My supervisor's like, take some days, Dev. I'm like, oh, don't trust me. I'm taking some days. They're well calculated, but I definitely need to start taking care of my health, not health, but just my overall mental wellness for the most part. Because I work out, like I say, every day, and that, but it's just my mental that you know be battling with. But I think things are going to get better, hopefully in the summer too, because cases are like decreasing. I think. Don't quote me. I think the
Yeah,
vaccine, the
yeah,
vaccine is
I
being.
believe so. Enough that they told us we can start hanging out in private in people's homes or whatever.
They said that.
I
Oh,
forgot
it's
what
okay,
it
girl.
was.
The fact, the way that you looked at that door, you were like, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that they said we can.
That's what I saw up on Twitter now. I was
Don't
like,
quote
okay.
us. Look,
Yeah, don't. Please
allegedly.
don't. Please don't. Allegedly, that's what the people. Girl, I don't know. That what the internet say. I don't know about that.
Right, but girl, get
Anyway,
into the spotlight for us.
today's Black Boy Joy Spotlight goes out to Coast Wild, Detroit-based model and musician. What's going on?
They're literally liking our pictures as we speak.
Ah!
That's the funny thing.
Shout out to him.
Yes.
26 years old, multifaceted and multi-genre artist in the Metro Detroit area. His bio on his website says he's blending his passions for music and fashion into one cohesive multimedia experience. First of all, I just want to attest to that. His content is really, really impressive. The work he does with other models, the work he does on his own. He just landed a Levi's ad campaign, so you can see that on his page, on their website, and on a couple of the stores. I don't know if it's like a nationwide one or if it's just in Detroit, but I saw the bitch in the store and I was like, wow.
Shout out
Let me
to the
just
Midwest.
say, watching this man's like progress over the last 7 years has been truly like enjoyable. Like I remember having conversation with him when I was in like Senegal in 2014. So like it's so cool to know somebody as dope as he is. You should go and check out the visuals on his page because
That I
that
need
shit was
to.
it. Me and Tori were gagging. Um, so he is also a writer, singer, and rapper. And then he recently released a project called Dead and Dying Fast, which is described as him conveying the frustrations of being an artist of his caliber, navigating the complexities of the music scene in Detroit, staying true to yourself while dealing with the pressure to conform to standards set upon you. And then he also has an upcoming project called Die Bad. I really enjoy his music. It's really different from a lot of the other music that I listen to, but I really wanted to support and I really enjoyed it actually. As well, like his collaborations. This will be the one that he's got coming up. Die Bad will be his first solo project. So shout out to you, Coast Wild, for doing the motherfucking thing, giving the girls aesthetic, and just really really impressing me. Like I'm genuinely like, oh, wow.
Look at you fangirling.
I really do. But you know what? One thing about me, bitch, I'ma stand my friends, honey.
You said, "Bitch, I will support. If you got the talent, I have no problem supporting
No,
it." Well,
and
shout out.
yes, say that part again.
You have no problem supporting talent, honey.
There we go,
Like
honey.
if they
That's it.
have it, they have it. Shout out to Coast Wild. We're gonna get into our rant, y'all. We're gonna get into what's going on in the world, in the media, and all of that really quickly. You don't watch Housewives.
But you know, I told you I'll be looking at the Peach Daily Report because honey, they give too much of the tea. So now that's all I got to do to know what's going on.
Do you agree with? First of all, I don't think you agree, but do you agree with Kenya um, passing judgment on the girls at the stripper gate?
No, because I feel like she was just mad it wasn't her. Like I genuinely think she's jealous. I really do think that's true. She had a baby to take care of. She's going through whatever she's going through with Mark. And like so I personally don't care that she's gained weight, but I know that she's gained weight as a result. It seems like she's gained weight as a result of what's going through her brain. Like
Yeah.
so she's probably eating for comfort. And I don't as a person who has historically cared a lot about her fitness, I don't think that's something that she enjoys.
Yeah, it just to me, it's just like the issue I have, and we can talk about this really quick because, girl, moving on. The fact that Candy was like, what happens in the dungeon stays in the dungeon, and if you're gonna pass judgment, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but then she turned around and snitched. That's what people said she was dry snitching.
And then as soon as she had the opportunity, I heard some noise coming from the room adjacent from Candy's. So I was like, oh, girl. And that was sad that, Tanya put herself in a predicament because now, she's not on the show no more. She quit after that.
I loved her. One of my favorite friends of the show, but I think they'll be fine without her if we're being completely honest. Like she's cool, she's fun. I really enjoyed her with Nene around specifically, but I might watch the next episode. No, there's some episode that Big Frida's gonna be on, and I'm
Yeah.
tuning into that. I will. I'm saying it now, so no one's surprised. I'm going to watch that episode.
Yeah. I don't know which one. I think that was like the mid-season like trailer.
Yeah, it was. I saw it right in there. I
Hmm.
did see a conversation. I think it's for tonight or this weekend's episode of Marlo having a conversation with Shamia and
Portia and Drew.
Portia and Drew, and it was regarding Marlo and Kenya's relationship. I appreciate where Portia is with their friendship because it seems like she has no volatile, like heated hate for Kenya. She's just like, I'm never gonna be your friend. Like this is not gonna work.
Yeah, that's so like that's so honest. Like just I can't be
The
your friend.
growth though, recall that like when it came to Kenya back then, like it was just like they would get under each other's skin, and it's like Kenya's trying, and Portia's just like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Like King's like, I've already put my hands on you. I'm
Portia's like,
not
I
doing
mean,
it.
you obviously know what I got going on here, and I just I'm so proud of her. Like I like this woman used to be chasing niggas through the alley.
Okay.
Like the fights, the number of fights that she got into over the last couple of years, and to know that she's been doing so much better lately, I am proud of her.
I am too. I just wanted to throw that in just to,
Yeah. If she want to fuck on a big dick stripper, good for her. I support it.
And when I tell you that thing is actually,
I saw it.
yeah, okay, girl. Girl.
Mwah.
Oh, that's what's next.
Well, so I don't know if you were paying
Oh,
paying attention to the timeline yesterday, but Steve Lacy's picture with his little man piece had surfaced, and it had become a huge thing for the timeline to be talking about interracial dating again. Now, we have talked about it on this platform more than once because I've referenced the episode that we had on here when we
yes,
talked about
yes,
interracial dating.
yes.
And
So
it hasn't changed.
it has not. I seen the picture. I even commented, and I was like, I mean, he doesn't want to like not. He doesn't want to be with us. So why are we trying to force this man into an interracial relationship when he doesn't want to be? I'm not going to force anybody to love me. Period. If he's having internal, issues with his identity, stay over there with Brad. But I said he looked happy. All I'm glad is he's happy. Please don't bring somebody into my energy or my space that does not want to be here. Please, thank you, and have a great day.
Steve Lacy said, I do not associate with niggers.
Yeah, he was like, we could be friends, but I can't date you.
The
You're
thing
my
is,
bro.
like, I'm so over it. Like, I'm over his particular thing. Like, I remember being really offended because I mean I'm attracted to, or at least historically, I was attracted to Steve Lacy. More so his talent. I find that when people are really talented, I'm like, wow, I want you. Because I was really thirsting over Mac Ayers for a while.
You were. Still is. Still, you still are. Don't act like you're not, sir. Like if Mac Ayers came in front of you and said, "Let's do this thing," I don't think you would even think
When I
twice.
tell you somebody's music like it's genuinely there for me, I'm like, yeah, nigga, I gotta have a piece.
I said, "Girl, so don't act like that
Um,
was the past."
but Steve Lacy, like he said, he don't like black people, black men. I was like, all right, whatever, don't care. Frank Ocean clearly doesn't really enjoy black men very much. Okay,
He hasn't
whatever,
said
don't.
that, so don't. He hasn't said that yet.
His pattern shows that he doesn't fuck with black men, so I don't care.
He was.
Like
He
he
did. A,
been
he
with
had a
them
ball.
European looking boys, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Like, okay, listen, being a part of black culture, enjoying your blackness is different from having a pattern of dating non-black men. I don't have a problem with people who don't date black men. At this point, I've grown a lot where I don't even really talk about it as much. I used to give one of my friends a lot of shit about it. And he made it clear to me that it bothered him. I don't even know why I was so obsessed with like telling the joke because it wasn't that funny. And where I am now, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like somebody dates white men. We're in a pandemic, and at this point, and I say that because the pandemic has put a lot of things into perspective for me.
Yes.
None of that shit fucking matters. Like it just doesn't. Is there something to be said about people's patterns dating white men? Sure. That's a conversation for a day. For me, that's a conversation when we're out of the pandemic. I don't want to talk about it right now. Like I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about people dating white men. I don't. I think it's stupid when they date white men who want to talk about their BBC and do race play or whatever. Or
Yeah.
I don't like it when they have internalized racist perspectives because somebody had come out to
I know what you're about to say too. I think I read. I think I know what tweet was. It a
the
tweet?
tweet that was like they're black on the outside and their souls are even blacker. I said, oh no, when I tell you my jaw actually dropped, like I had tweeted a picture of my jaw on the floor because that was the perfect representation of how I felt.
Yeah, I'm like, please, I don't know. We're in a pandemic. I have
Hilarious.
my mental health that I need to worry about. I do not care about what this man is doing in between the sheets.
If y'all want to suck white dick. Do it. Have fun. I'm
Do
cool
it.
with it because I told y'all a year ago, or was it? Yeah, I told y'all a
It
year
was a
ago.
year
If I
ago.
pop up with a white man, that is
Don't
what
say
it is.
nothing.
Don't say a motherfucking thing.
Period.
I don't care. I don't care about what y'all do. But us a lot of dumbass niggas who will then take that conversation and turn into, well, I'm too white for black people. They say when I talk proper, I'm too white. When I do blah blah blah, I'm too white. And like, first of all, I just want to say that as a person who code switches regularly, there are a lot of people who approach or who meet me like this version of me versus
Yeah.
like the Eastern Shore version of me. And like, I don't really give a fuck about how people receive that. And I don't really care about if they think it's a white voice or not. I haven't gotten that a lot, if we're being completely honest. I'm a black ass bitch.
Yeah.
I just happen to speak in a certain, Tori calls it a valley voice.
The valley voice. The valley voice. You
It is what it is.
enunciate your words
It
or you
is what it is.
whine.
I certainly just don't care.
Yeah. Next
So,
case.
well, before we move on, the
Come on.
continued into today.
Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't. It was because this woman, she posted her man. It was her husband. Yeah, she was like, my TikTok followers want to know what you do for a living. So, or this is like a challenge or whatever. I don't know. The man tells us what he's doing, and he's a white man, and he's got this like beard and this like fade and these big arms and these tattoos, and he has a bassier voice that's like almost the black scent. No, I think it was a black scent. And so the girls, it prompted a conversation about dating white men. And a lot of people were like, I don't know why y'all are attracted to white men who do black scents and like have this persona. And I totally understood the concern. Um
Oh,
I'm
this is
thirsting, but I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I thirsted too because I looked at the man and he was fine. That just is what it is. Like I totally understand and respect people's perspectives about why that's a problem, and I even like agree. But one thing I've learned is you can't help what you like. You can
yeah.
acknowledge it being problematic, and I will always acknowledge when my interests are problematic. I'm totally fine with being called out on that because I'm still gonna go and do what I want to do.
You're like, oh no, I know it's a problem. I know
I'm,
it's an issue.
I'll even work on it. But in the meantime, I'm not gonna stop sucking dick because somebody says sucking dick is wrong, right? Like sometimes you have to come to things on your own. So when it was like messing with DL men, people could tell me like all the time, but there was some part of me that was attracted to them, so I did it while it worked for me. And even when it wasn't working, I did it because I wanted it. I don't
I do what I
like
want.
I don't know how to explain that any better than like people gonna do what they gonna do, right? And like
Yeah.
they'll figure out it's bad for them and they'll get it together. And I don't have a problem with people saying that being attracted to white men like that is
Yeah.
an issue. I believe it is, but I am.
My only issue is please don't put down another race. You
I don't
can
know why they do that shit.
just like the race. You're gonna be like, oh, because black men are aggressive or black men ain't shit. Girl, you don't keep that to yourself.
Oh, I saw somebody say I don't want them, something stealing money out of my purse and dealing with their baby's mamas. And I was like, good and goddamn well that it is not even like that. You
You
know,
reaching.
the way these niggas take pictures and talk about I'm a white man's worst fear, I'm society's worst fear, an educated black man. Good and goddamn well, it's enough niggas out here in these streets who have educations or who have great jobs who are not in these streets. You know that. You know that. You simply wanted to be ignorant. So fuck them and anybody who has anything to say like that along the lines
Yeah.
of that. Fuck
Yeah, I'm
them.
just like, mind your business, keep it to yourself. Please do not announce. Do not you like a white man, you like a white man. You like a pink dick? That's you.
That's you.
Have a
Or as
blessed day.
Candace said, her husband got a brown one. So
A brown one.
sometimes they ain't so pink.
Congratulations on that. Just keep it to yourself. Period.
Post your pic and go.
That's what Kiki Palmer did.
Well, the thing is, like the lady who put up the TikTok, the focus of her video was not that her husband was white. He just happened to be white, and it sparked a conversation about it.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Twitter conversation. I just wish people would calm down sometimes.
That's your business.
Speaking of race play,
I hate you for that transition.
Taylor Swift called out Netflix for a joke they made about running through men or whatever, based
Yeah.
on her dating life being very public, and her writing several songs about the men that she dates. or
Yeah.
has had, bad luck with. And she, called Netflix out. I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I'm not a woman and I'm not Taylor Swift. So,
Right. I didn't think it was a big deal because Gina and Georgia is a show that is like
oh
a coming
Lord,
of
is that
age
what the fuck it
show.
was?
Yeah, Jeannie and Georgia. It's a coming of age show. It was young ladies talking about It was girls, high school girls talking about pop culture. They talked about Lady Gaga as well, saying that, some shit about Lady Gaga. It's teenagers talking.
You like that
Like,
show?
I don't. They try it's like it's supposed to be like Gilmore Girls, but and I didn't, I didn't like so the issue is that so the daughter is biracial and the
I
mother is
saw.
white.
I saw.
Right. I can't it's something about the show. Well, I just don't really care for it. That's what it is.
I saw one clip. One clip.
Yeah.
I said, "What the motherfuck is this?" It was the Asian boy and
Yeah.
Jenny.
He was
Is
like,
it
I'm Jeannie. Yeah. Her name is
Jeannie?
Virginia. Her mom named her kids after all the states she had them in. So Austin, Virginia, and then her name is Georgia. So yeah.
Anyway, I saw a conversation where he said the two of us together make a whole white person, and I said, okay. The fucking like food references. What was it, jerk chicken or some shit?
Yeah,
It
you
was
can't make jerk chicken.
it
I
was
was like, it was
s-
written by white women. So
clearly. So with that being said, that show was trash, but it started a whole conversation like on Twitter, and it turned into people posting like threads of Taylor Swift doing questionably racist things. They were like, she said so Black Lives Matter, but
oh my God.
no, she didn't verbally say that, but that's what one of the tweets had said. They were just like, for somebody who is often a victim, there was a picture of her with somebody who had a swastika on their shirt. It's
Yep,
a
I seen that
picture
one.
of the apparently she like touched or tried to touch the weekend's hair. It was like a picture of a headline of that.
Yeah.
Then they were reaching. They
There was
had
like Beyonce and Solange.
yeah, there was a picture of her like reaching towards Solange, and then they were like, "Don't touch my hair" was written because of her, which is we don't know that obviously. There were so many jokes. There was a picture of her hugging all these white kids real tight, and then her with the little black girl, and she had like 3 fingers on her and was barely.
She was like, "Girl, I don't want you. I don't want to touch this. I don't
No,
want to
you
touch
know
her."
what? One thing about Twitter, them niggas stay funny. They annoying as fuck, but they be making me laugh,
They
dog.
they were also talking about how she's a groomer too, because they were showing um pictures of her partners in the past, and like one was like 18, one I think was like 20 or 16,
Ew.
allegedly. So
Gabrielle Solis.
yeah.
Ooh.
Did you also hear about James Charles?
What?
We don't. Yeah, he's been again caught grooming.
He's always doing that. They always say he's trying to get with boys that are too young for him. It's weird. He's a
He's
weirdo.
21. It's getting weird.
It is. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about that with particularly about Taylor Swift was that they were they were joking on Todrick Hall for jumping to her defense. And why they get the
He's
little video of Samuel L. Jackson and Mr. Candy on on
to
Django?
Django on Django. Yeah, Django. That's. I love Todrick's music. I really do.
I love it. I love it. I love it when
I
when they
do.
catch niggas doing shit like that and it starts an entire new joke. There were like three separate like jokes happening after that incident, and I just loved all of it. It was really funny. Todrick is a really interesting person. There are so many people who call him out for being a coon, and I think when we do that too,
I'm sorry.
they call him Coondrick. You know that.
I do. I've seen him in concert so many times.
I think it's interesting when we do that to black celebrities because they always go for the "I'm not black enough" thing, and I don't think they realize that it's about their positioning and their public relationship to blackness, to and you know what? I actually want to change the language of that
Take it
because
back.
I think what unites us as black people, right, is the undeniable experience of anti-blackness.
Yeah.
Whether we acknowledge that we've experienced it, we haven't all had blatant, you know, and violent run-ins with racism, but we have
Yes.
all systemically and just in general experienced some, form of anti-blackness. So I think
Yes.
when we call people coons, it's typically because of their rejection of their experiences with anti-blackness, or their because I think we tend to unite. We really do tend to unite because of that. Because shared trauma tends to unite people.
Yeah.
And so
That's
when
why
you
we
get
can't
to a
relate with white people. That's why we can't relate
Exactly.
with white men.
Exactly. So I think people watch Todrick, dance and sing, and the white people clap, and it seems monkeyish. And then they also watch him be really absent in the conversation of anti-blackness, and he doesn't have to be a political voice. He doesn't have to be an Angela Davis or a Portia Luther King, or, but
Definitely don't.
uh, but I think we watch him not show up. It,
I think I think the issue that people have encountered with Todrick is he all these are alleged, we're not sure. He does it and it comes off very like performative. And the thing about him is like it should not come off being performative as someone that is black. It shouldn't come off like that to me.
is it
And
reactionary?
I think he doesn't react to it. I think he like processes it and sits down and thinks like about it when it's like I don't know. To me it's like he even has like music about like called Thug. And I'm like it's so black.
No, I saw that and I thought it was ridiculous.
I love this song.
I did not.
But I loved it because like he's allowed to say that as a black man, but then also consider his demographic is white. So them singing that, like I remember I was in that bad boy yelling at. He was like, "Oh, you know that song?" I said, I sure do, and
Who
I
said that?
sure can." Todrick, when he was here at I was in that bad boy yelling to him like,
I know that's right.
I want a tough lover, her brother," and I'm like, I was the only one in that bad boy jumping because why? I was the only black person that could jump to that. I wish I
I
would.
commended you for liking Todrick. It's not my Jewish, but
Yeah.
I'm
I
totally
like
fine.
his music. I will say I like his music, but I do get he does come off sometimes performative. And I think if he had more tones or seriousness about a racial injustice, maybe, but then you see him like with Taylor Swift and Butt Buddies and like I remember at a concert
Fire
he literally
Island.
said, yeah, I remember at a concert he was like somebody asked him about Black Lives Matter. He was like, well, I believe in Blue Lives Matter because my he has a friend that's in the line of fire, like she there in the air, I mean as a police officer. So I was like, it was the way he said it to me. I was like, oh, like girl, like so I think it's like it's just if he just is more like just genuine and just honest and just be transparent, but instead he just keeps getting showing up with Taylor Swift. Like, stop it. And he's also been known to like not pay people, so that's also like
I
another
did see
thing as
that.
well.
I did see that.
He's
The
also
girls were so excited to have a reason
yeah,
to read him.
yeah.
Now that's one thing. The timeline gets really excited at the opportunity to read Todrick Hall, and it's always really
And he's
amusing.
done things like he's hired black dancers. He's like talked about being black. He's like had like all these things, but it just still comes back to like Todrick. Let's talk about why you did that. Was it because you wanted to, or was because you wanted to? Listen, y'all. I'm not race. Not. I'm not Uncle Tom. So it was
So
that.
there was also a conversation on Twitter of safe spaces for men because of a video between athletes talking about their
Odell
marriage.
Beck. Oh, not Odell.
You would know because I would not.
Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson.
Ooh, a name.
Chad. It was
Oh, I
Chad
did see
Johnson.
him because he was
Yeah.
crying, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was crying.
I love seeing men cry. Not because that is like a funny thing, but I love to see them be vulnerable or acknowledge that they have feelings. And I really hate the idea. Like my roommate tells me all the time that like as soon as a woman sees a man cry, they're like a bitch to them. But I also think that depends on the type of woman you're dating, because I
Yeah.
know plenty of women who would not have an issue with that shit, who are waiting for
Yeah.
their boyfriend or man to cry to them. But nonetheless, they were saying that there are no safe spaces for men. And it almost seemed like they were like blaming the larger society. And while you and I have acknowledged that society does not allow black men to be certain versions of themselves, I think it's the responsibility of black men to create those environments. And the reason I said that, because I sat and I thought about this for a while, and I was like, their fear of being vulnerable is that they'll be seen as less of a man, right? You
Yes.
and I are men, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And we're gay men.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of fear of coming out because of the same reason, because of
Mm-hmm.
homophobia and the idea that gay men are less than, right?
Yes.
And you and I have bloomed into ourselves as these semi masculine, semi feminine people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we created those spaces for ourselves. Like I didn't have a gay
Yeah.
family when I grew up. Like I
Yeah.
was bold. I was like, look, I want to be free. I'm going to be free. So it
Yeah.
is up to them. Like it is their responsibility to create those spaces, and it is always them who sabotages that. I
Yeah.
just that's it.
That I definitely like watching the video. First of all, I commend the conversation being held with
Me too.
straight men, straight heteronormative men. I appreciate seeing that conversation because I typically see it coming from queer men. Period.
Right.
I
That's my
only
point.
see that coming from queer men, and I just like seeing. However, it's ultimately up to us, right? It's up to us to create these spaces.
It
And once
is.
we get out of this mindset of, being afraid of being vulnerable and things of that nature and all of that, then that's when we'll see that change happening within our own community. Like we need more men, like they were saying, like, oh, we kick it, we talk about all these things with each other, but we don't talk about our mental health.
That's
Like
true.
and I'm like, yes, like telling people that you are not okay should not be like a detriment. Like to be transparent, this weekend, yesterday, I was afraid to call one of my friends because I didn't want them to think that I wasn't that strong friend anymore. Until somebody else was like, call your friend because you need to have them over. And I have those moments as well, but it's ultimately you just need to do it. You just need to do it. You don't need to be afraid of this and be afraid of that. In order for you to see how have that space created, you have to create it yourself. Society will never do something for you. You have to do it. Like
That's
society,
true.
society would have never let us be free, right? Would have never wanted us to be free. So we have to put these things in line in order for that to happen. So with men saying that the society, first of all, we should never count on society to do anything for us because it's not help. It's never
Nobody's
been
gonna
for us.
save you.
It's never, we have a system that's not built for us. So we have to create these spaces. So I appreciate Chad Johnson and those other athletes talking about it. I need them
I
to
did
have
too. I
more
really,
conversations,
me too.
and I need them to also include queer voices as well in those spaces, which is a big
I,
step because
that's not gonna happen.
I would love to see that happen.
I would
That'll
love
be
to see it too.
ground fucking breaking.
I would love to see a community of men of all gender expressions, anyone who
Healthy.
identifies as a man, sit and talk about these things with each other. But it's so hard. The very reason it's hard for them to have that conversation amongst each other is why it is going to be a while before we can get them in in a room with queer men and have that conversation. I know that there are men's groups where there are queer men, so I'm not trying to say that doesn't exist, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about higher profile like that conversation.
Yeah.
You're going to be hard pressed to find that happen.
There is an organization here in DC that I do want to shout out that I went to a meeting with before COVID, and it was called Mask Off.
Mhm.
And that is a space that I think, if you are in the DMV area, definitely check out Mask Off on social media, because they do have a space where men of all demographics can come in and, you know, try to create a healthy space. I haven't been there in a while, but I did feel some sense of safety or a space where there can be open dialogue.
Mm.
Of course, there were moments when people didn't agree with people's thought process, but I appreciate that it was a space in general. Because once there's a space, then I think that's the catalyst.
Step one.
Step is creating that space and
Yeah.
letting, yeah,
I think there was, yeah, one of the things I have noticed is that the reason that men are afraid to admit that they have vulnerabilities, and it's absurd because every single human being has them. Like Achilles' heel, like the story of Achilles, right? Like there was one part of him that was like,
yeah,
so I think, and this goes back to dehumanizing black men and them mentally dehumanizing themselves, but like you have to give yourself a chance to be human. Like I watch some of the men in my life interact with each other, and like instead of like saying things like I would like, hey, you want to hang out together? It's like you too scared to like come
yeah,
watch TV with me. Like you scared to take a shower. Like, hey, bitch, nigga, when they like see each other versus like, hey, like if we see each other, we're like, hey,
hey,
you know,
we are,
like they're like so
yes,
afraid to do that with each other. And that's all along the same lines that camaraderie is lost, and that's why they get together and suffer silently and don't talk about their problems with one another, or when they do talk about their problems it's in a very like surface way, and it doesn't really, because it's there's a lack of intimacy. I think they don't walk away having felt fulfilled in the way that we normally do when we go to our friends about our issues.
yeah,
But yeah, um
yeah. It's a, we can talk about that all day. Like
we really can.
that's
That we might as well at some point.
right. We definitely can talk about that because we are firsthand. Like it's that's the reason why certain spaces I don't like to be in. Um,
Like what?
Predominantly with like straight men. So predominantly when I used to play basketball, I hated the locker room conversations. I hated we already know the barbershop. I hated just like moments where like a group of men were together because it was always things that were distractors in that had to be in the space. There was nothing that provoked like actual conversation. There just was like egos had to come into conversation, or women or sports, and I'm just like, how are we doing? What's going on? How are y'all? What's crazy? Like, man, they could have been like, I'm tired, my I can't pay my rent, or none of that was ever like a case. It was just like very weird to like
It's a
have a bro
staging area.
like, hey bro, we got you, like even having some stuff like that, like, bro, we got you, like, bro, like if you need help, I'm your boy. Like it's weird, like even when two men call each other, they think that's weird, like it's weird.
Did I ever tell you that I'm very fortunate to love my barbershop? I hear people
Yeah,
have conversations about their barbershops all the time, but a woman cuts my hair.
that's
Um,
that's why.
but I show up to that barber. Having her there is really just like an anchor. Like that's like I go in, I show up as myself. Them niggas know that I am gay, and none of them have ever made me feel like bad about that or like anything. And I think like I haven't even felt like an anomaly there. It almost feels like I'm a part of like the family when I go in there. And I think maybe if there are more women barbers, and then also if more men would give these women barbers a chance because they are very talented. I've had women barbers twice. Then maybe that could help the case, having a woman there who is not homophobic herself.
Yeah, yeah, I would love to have a female barber, but now I cut my own hair.
It's crazy.
Now I've learned to cut
I
my
know
own
that's
hair.
right, girl.
Affordability.
Side note, well, this doesn't have to be a long thing. I just
It's
wanted to
not.
say
It's
it, and
not gonna be it.
I shouldn't think it's funny. I should not think it's funny, and I, you know what, I don't think it's funny.
Then okay.
No, you know what, I'm gonna skip it.
Right. Thank you. That's why I was like, just skip it. So do not say it. Then do not. We're not gonna speak about it. It doesn't tie
Skip it.
in.
Skip it. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sat down with Oprah. Did that surprise you? Because I was shocked.
No, I think Oprah's the next person that people sit down and talk to. Like,
I just didn't think they would. I didn't see them having a full conversation about it. I get why they're doing it, and I totally support it. It's in 3 days. What was that? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, is it on Sunday?
I don't even
I think by the time this airs, it will have already happened. I used to not be invested in the royal family at all, and then I watched The Crown and loved it. Oh God, that's the first time I've said that.
I couldn't get into it.
I told Omar repeatedly that I only liked it, and that's still relatively true. But history is so cool, and I've read that a lot of those are accurate. So
Yeah, they did good depiction. I heard
that third
depictions.
season was it. I think it was the third. No, the second season. That second season slapped. Those performances were everything I needed them to be. They were great. But
She's pregnant too, right? Megan is pregnant.
again, she is.
Like
So they're
she's
gonna be.
pregnant again. Did she already have a kid?
Yeah, this is her second.
Um,
They have a son, I believe. They're first of all, they're never gonna be welcome back
they're not coming back to the
in the
Royals.
palaces at Buckingham Palace. They're never going back.
Never going
Them
back.
niggas will close the door forever. Because Prince Philip is also like on his damn near on his deathbed. They said his operation went well, but they were also speculating that they would pull the interview if his surgery did not go well. I guess it would be an insult to the royal family. Not
Yeah.
sure about that. But I'm excited to hear what they have to say. Prince Harry has always been seen as like the rebel. Like before I knew anything about this, I would hear people talking about it, and they were like, "Oh, he's the one that's like, he doesn't do what he's supposed to or whatever," which makes sense because he married this black woman and then moved to the United States of America. So,
Where do they live here?
I think in LA. Don't give me,
Okay.
man. Don't wait a minute. We can Google real quick.
I just was curious.
Oh, here we go.
I just was curious.
First, they moved in Canada. Oh, no, that was in April last year, though.
Oops. We'll figure it out.
We will. I'll get to y'all in a second when I figure that shit. Oh, Santa Barbara.
I keep burping.
County. So yeah. Pricey Montecito in Santa Barbara County, which is an hour northwest of Los Angeles. That's where they are now. I'm
Shout
excited.
out to
I'm gonna
them.
watch that interview because I definitely want to hear about more. Like, and Meghan won her lawsuit against the media, for all the awful things that they've been saying about her.
As she should.
And they just keep trying. Like they're saying she bullied her staff. It's so weird because I don't think like anybody is going to believe that. At least not in America. I don't know what
Yeah.
Britain is doing. I don't know why they hate her so much. Just super racist. There's no other
Yeah.
reason.
I watched Drag Race UK, so that's about it. I'll be learning my British from that show or my UK lingo from that show. I want some what is it? Beans and toast.
Not beans and toast.
Beans and toast.
Something
that's
else
good.
happened today that I wanted to talk about. Remind me. Were
Texas.
you on the timeline today?
No, I know Texas opened up. Texas opened up.
I know the girls were mad about Matthew Knowles' comments about Chloe.
What did he say about her?
So the woman he did an interview with really baited him. She asked him a question about the people comparing Chloe to Beyonce. First of all, Beyonce is his daughter. That's number one. Number two is that like he's not her management anymore, and everything that he's done since then has been like not in her favor. He's talked about I mean, granted, even though he said some true things like about her having light skin privilege, which I think is true, even though she's a very talented woman, he's proven himself to be like relatively trash. So to ask someone like him a question about that, I think she knew what she was doing, and he was like, "Who is stupid enough to compare the two of them?" And it sounded like he was trashing her. But I mean,
Who the fuck?
in his defense, like it's his daughter, and he has put a lot of work into helping her become the person that she is today. And I mean, like, it is what it is. Like, I love Chloe and Halle, and I don't think that the tone he used was appropriate. Like, she definitely didn't deserve that tone, but the woman had no business asking him a question like that. Like, she had no business doing that shit.
I don't know what's happening with that man. I don't know. I think he always is very problematic now. Or just like he's always been problematic.
Like, we know that though, right? Like, is that not his brand today? Like, do we not
Probably
know that
his
is his
brand.
Do we
Just
not know
brain.
that at this point?
Yeah.
Shit.
Matthew. They shouldn't have asked. The reporter shouldn't have. The interviewer shouldn't have asked him about Chloe.
I really thought it was inappropriate that she chose to because people were like really mad at him, and I was like, I get why y'all are mad, but he's not doing anything other than what was expected. If I'm being completely honest,
Yeah.
there wasn't anything else. Just excited about Married to so
Oh,
this
when does that come
weekend
on?
for me. This weekend on I think it's at 8 o'clock. Don't get me lying. Wait a minute. It's at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and yeah, I'm gonna be watching that. Obviously, I really think it's my number one on Bravo now.
Really?
Yep. I even as I was watching Potomac, I was like, I really miss Married to Medicine. After I watched that whole like going from, have you watched all of it
Of what?
of Married to Medicine? Did you get all the way through?
Mm-mm.
I, where did you stop?
I only watched with y'all when I
Oh
came over that
shit!
day. I only watched the reunion.
Still highly recommend that you watch seasons one all the way through seven because the dramas there, they're really funny, collectively hilarious group of people. And again, marriages on point. So I'm really excited to see a group of friends get together, like an actual group of friends get together. Um, and hopefully see how Heavenly has gotten herself together. If she has, I doubt it, but nonetheless.
All right, let's get into this meat and potatoes,
Tweet
Hunty.
tweet.
We're gonna go back in the day, y'all.
Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But sometimes I sit and wish I was a kid again. Wow, I think in this time of the pandemic, what we need or what is most useful is nostalgia. I used to be like anti people relying on nostalgia, but bitch, I'm watching Desperate Housewives. That shit came out in 2004. I used to love it when I was a kid.
Watching Degrassi again.
I started that too, and I got to
Watching
finish it.
Degrassi again.
I mean, you need it, right? Doesn't it make you feel
Yeah,
good?
yeah. But we're gonna actually speak about college days for us.
Yeah,
We're gonna go specifically a couple of years ago. We're not that old, but we're gonna go a
the
couple of years
glory
ago
days.
about our experiences in undergrad, um, which is very interesting. It
Yeah.
was very interesting for me. But like first, how was college for you? Where did you go to school?
I went to school at Randolph-Macon College in Ashland, Virginia. Very interesting experience. I don't know why I chose. You know what? Yes, I do. Randolph-Macon was far enough from my hometown, about 3 hours, and close enough to my dad's place where if I needed something like just to be grounded at home, I could go back and hang out with my stepmother. Um, College was very there were a lot of racial issues. I went to a PWI in Virginia, so you can only imagine what happened there. But it was also a wild time. Like I'm a wild bitch, and honestly,
Now I'm a wild bitch.
no, I was a lot for Randolph Macon, okay? And so much so, I don't want to toot my own horn, but like niggas was still talking about me after I graduated. Like it's
You
people
had that
who
type of
started.
juice,
Bitch,
sis?
I was that nigga. Like I really really created a name for myself because there is staff that I like. I think I haven't even met in person. I'm on an alumni association, and there's staff in that meeting who know me because people have talked about me.
Yeah.
So I am that bitch. One of the best things to come out of
Yolanda.
making. I'm that bitch. Yovana, CAU.
Giovanna. The Giovanna, not Yolanda. Yeah.
But yeah, that's how college was for me on and like on a overall thing. I was like super involved in everything that was black. Like I
Yeah.
ended up the president of the Black Cultural Society. I was in the community service organization Brothers for Change, which was historically black and male until they opened it up to other people. I did a lot of volunteering. I probably logged a total of 300 to 400 hours of volunteering. If not in like I think it might have been more than that because it was like 200 and something for like a year. So,
Oh, okay, girl. Yeah.
oh yeah, I was going to the elementary school about 2 or 3 times a week to hang out with them kids, and then I was in two community service organizations. One was Brothers for Change, which ended up being one change at a time, and the other one was Alpha Phi Omega community service fraternity. So yes, I'm a volunteer. Like I used to love it, which is why I work for a nonprofit that I won't
Yeah.
anymore.
Undergrad for me, I went to Bowling Green State University. I loved it. At first, I thought I was going to hate it because it was a predominantly white space. And I did not want to go there. I actually wanted to go to Morehouse, but I
Oh my
would say
god.
I got accepted to Morehouse, and then finances was like, girl, no, you're not going there. Um, I enjoyed it. I think that it was the best option for me. Just like I became really active in like social justice. I was part of the Black Student Union. I did like fashion shows and things of that when I was in undergrad. Very active in just like the community and well known. Um, and I think I still have a lot of friends to this day that I like keep in contact with. Well, take that back. I only keep in contact with Mimi and Vari and Tiff. Well, that's a lot of people. But yeah, college was fun. We were in this middle of nowhere, making that bitch black, making it black as shit,
Isn't that
and
great?
I loved it, honey. Loved that we were making it so black. Um, but yeah, it was fun. It was only 2 hours away from my home, so it was not too far and not too close. And then I also got an apartment out there, so like I loved it.
Oh
Like I
wow.
just liked it. Also,
Good for you. I was
excuse
an
me.
RA, so I lived on campus.
I wanted to do those things. My freshman year, I kind of like messed up my GPA, so it was always about like recovery
That's what
after
happens.
that.
They told us that first semester, like, how you do freshman year will set the course for how you do the rest of your time. I can't believe that. It's crazy though.
And honey, it did. It did.
Yeah,
Because I was
it
trying to do
does.
so much and it humbled me. It definitely did humble me.
Mm,
Um, you go. Which one?
Well, I was gonna say it's crazy how your habits in college really do shape who you are. Like, I was a busybody, as you can see. I was really involved in a lot of things while I was there. I ended up on like fucking student council or some shit. So I'm used to being busy these days. Like in my adulthood, I just want to do so much. But
Yeah.
40-hour work week, not easy.
Not easy, sis. Not easy. Um, what was your were sorry, were you a first gen college student? So was there anybody in your family that went to college?
Yes, my mother did. She got her master's, and so did my stepmother. She also got her master's. I was the first man in my immediate family, and I think, yeah, for a couple of generations, at least for my dad's side, my mom has family members that went to college. But yeah, for my immediate family, I was the first man.
Yes. For me, my mom got her associates after like some years. Um, my parents were both military. So they went to the military right after they graduated high school. So I'm a military brat, but me and my sister, I technically was the first person. My sister was the year after my mom got her associates. I think in our ninth grade, I want to say ninth grade, but yeah, I'm first gen, but there's a lot of people in my family, like my external family, that are college. Well, technically, no. My dad's sister, I think, went to my dad. I think my dad's sister. Um, well, my immediate family, yes. My
Yeah,
immediate family,
I
yes.
think that's completely
Yeah, I was like,
like
yes,
your
they're my immediate
grandparents.
family.
Like, did your
Mm-mm.
grandparents go to college?
No, yeah, it was me and my sister were the first, so that was something that was very important. I knew I was going to go to college. I just didn't know the impact that would make on my family and just like the impact it would make on me, because I didn't think. I knew I was going to go to college, but I didn't think of like what that would look like for my family, or just like look like for my success in the future. So I appreciate being like that history, or making that stride to that.
I think it's really cool when people do that. I think that's quite an accomplishment because I mean there are various reasons why people don't go to college, so it's not like it's embarrassing or anything like that. I also
Yeah.
realized I told a lie. My mother's father went to college. I'm pretty certain. Yes, he
Oh,
did
so
because
it's
he's
in
an
your
iota.
blood.
Yeah, girl, I forgot. He's an iota. He was an iota.
Cute.
Um, so what is the coolest thing that you did while you were in?
I went to New York, so that was the first time I like traveled without my family. That was fun. I did fashion. That craziest. I don't think the coolest thing. I was like very much into like fashion shows. Like I was like coordinating fashion shows. Actually had a fashion show my senior year that I put on. All my close friends were scene directors or coordinators, and my sister. And we're back. Um, where did I leave off at?
So all I heard was back in college I was.
So back in college. Wait, back in college? What you mean?
I'm pretty sure that's what you said.
Like the
It was right
beginning?
after you
Like all
saying
the way
that
from
you.
the beginning? Or
No, it was right after you said that you had gone to New York by yourself for the first time, and then I heard you
oh,
say back in college.
oh yeah, I was like I was like fashion show king. Like I did a lot of fashion shows. I also like had my very own fashion show since I was a part of Black Student Union. I was like an external coordinator or special events coordinator. So I had to host.
Wow,
Yes, darling. Your girl was an events person. So
I know that's right.
my sister got to showcase some pieces. Vari got to style. My friend Mimi got to walk in. It was a fun thing. It was so fun because I was in control, bitch. I told them what this is what I want. This is what's going to happen. I want lights. I was the grand
The
dame.
boss. I
I
know
was
that's
the boss. I
right.
bro, I made it gay too, girl. I made it gay. I had Iggy. I had Iggy as Azalea Banks. Sorry,
I was very
up on there.
scared.
And
I'm
I
like, wait
had
a
them
minute.
strutting, honey. Not Iggy, my bad. I had them strutting, honey. But it was
Yes.
fun. That was like the coolest thing. I think I like really enjoyed that. I'm trying to think of more stuff I did, but like for the most part, that was like one of the cool things I did.
I
You?
was you know what? There were many things that were I would say were cool, but I think traveling to Costa Rica was the coolest because it was the longest time that I had been somewhere. I had been to Senegal before that, but I was there for 5 months. So like a bitch was like living in Costa Rica.
Yeah, you were,
Um
girl.
and there were a lot of experiences there that were first times for me because I had gone ziplining. Oh my god, that was the first time I had ever gone ziplining, bitch. That was like day 3 in Costa Rica. I lost my motherfucking mind, bitch. I remember feeling like, wow, this is so neat. Like I know that nobody in my immediate family, and maybe
Can say they
even
did
all of
this.
them, can say that they did this. Like,
Yeah.
that felt great. That was cool. It was really cool. And I
That's
made some cool friendships from that.
yeah, I had really cool friendships. I think I also like took a friends trip to Chicago. Then and that was really fun. Um, oh my God. It was like a lot of things that college was like fun for, but that was the only thing I could think of for now. Um, do you have any friend? Well, yes, I know that. Do you have any friends from college? And if so, how often do you all get together?
Oh,
I was like,
I have most I almost want to say I have all of my friends from college. Like there's
mhm.
a lot of them I can't name them. And it's really hard to keep in track with them because it's over 15 people. I was very, very social. And as you know,
Sus.
Jasmine and Omar, I see it
Yes.
like every day. One of my good friends, Tyler, just had a baby. So like literally there are so many friends.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, girl. I'm
We
like,
don't get to, go ahead.
no. Also, yeah, I know your friends.
Yeah,
That's why
so
I was like,
yeah, you know I get together with Omar weekly,
yes, you do.
almost weekly at least. Like we'll
Yeah.
take like 2 week breaks, but he lives fucking 15 minutes away.
Hmm.
Um, and the other friends, it's every now and again. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we're all doing different things in different areas. So whenever I can, I do. I have a group of friends. They're like a year or two younger than me. I went to Spain with them, so
Oh, that relationship right there is one
I
of a kind.
man, I got all them motherfuckers. Yeah.
As people know about me, of course, I have friends still from college. Vari, I love that's my girlie. Vari actually went to high school with Vari, so I've known her since
I
high
didn't know
school.
that.
Yeah, I've known Vari since we were in high school together. So That's my OG best friend.
I know that's
Um,
right.
Tiffany. Tiffany, that's my boo. We went to undergrad together. Mimi, who's been a guest on the show, love her to death. And my sister. I count my sister because she went to college with me as well. And I talk to them regularly. They live here, except for Mimi and my sister. They live here. Vari literally lives like a block away from me. So if I call her right now, she'll be over in like less than 5 minutes. Tiffany is like 30 minutes away from me. Was with her yesterday. Um, my sister talked to her every day. Mimi talked to her every day. So yeah, I still keep in contact with my friends. I think that was the thing I appreciated undergrad because undergrad is the space for networking.
Yes,
Period.
it is. Oh my
That is
God, it
that is
is.
the space to network. If you do not go to college to network, you went for the wrong things. Like
You
you,
gotta know
it's not.
people.
You got to know people. That's the thing. Like the education is cute and all that. Like bada bing, bada boom. But you go to college because everything is in that hub. Everything is that space, that beacon, and all that. Actually, I still cute. One of my friends is actually getting married, and she invited me that I went to college with. So I was like, ooh. But yeah, I keep in touch with my friends from college. But there has been friends. I miss a lot of my like long friends, like Celeste. I don't keep in touch with her, but I love her to death. Um, but yeah, college was it was fun. I have my friends still to this day. Like I think we're just social people. Like we're
Yes.
just very social people.
Yes.
And I think we that was something that was going to be inevitable to happen with us. That we still keep in contact.
Now, granted, as much as I hated high school, like I was very social then too, and like with different types of people. So naturally, yeah, I went to college and did the same thing. And I think the more involved you are, the more people you meet.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I was
yeah,
very involved. That's the thing. I was very involved. Like I was also the only black guy in. Look, we'll take that back. I was one of few when I got to my senior year, I was the only black guy, but I was the only one in my field at the time. So it was very interesting in that space, being the only black man to be in like this social service space. That was very like, and it was very interesting because my story wasn't being told unless I told it, or the importance of
mm,
us.
remind me what you studied.
Human development and family studies with a focus in adolescence. So
Love
it was a
it.
lot of white women and black girls. There was a lot
I
of white
believe
women and
that.
black girls. There was spurts of athletes, so that was an interesting thing. We had so many like football players that were and basketball players in that,
That makes sense.
and I was like, why? Why does that make sense? I forgot. I don't know. I forgot why they was there.
Especially if they wanted to pursue a career in sports where they were not playing, like coaching or anything, I think it would help to know the students that like to know the students that you're working with because they're just because they're
Yeah,
athletes doesn't mean they're not still teenagers and they experience things that are clearly going to affect their ability to play the game. And I think
yeah.
as a coach, you should have an investment in your student as a college coach and as a high school one you should be invested in the lives of your players because they're not just the fucking devices you use when you got a fucking game.
Yeah, but I was it was always a lot of athletes, but I forgot it was like interesting. But
Yeah.
and do you have any like do you have a favorite professor? What did you have a favorite
I
teacher in
did.
undergrad? Bitch, tell me.
I have a couple, but yeah. So Justin Haynes, shout out to Professor Haynes, my first black professor in Randolph Macon, and he was a man. He was my English professor. It was the first class I had. Like I think it was like the first one I showed up to, and the first day of class, he was like, "Does everybody have their textbooks?" And there were several of us who didn't. I didn't because I was like, "Them bitches cost money. I'm trying to figure out, what's going on before I start
You're
buying
like,
textbooks.
no.
Like, where can I get them cheapest?" So he was like, "If you don't have a textbook, I'm marking you as absent." And I was like, "Ain't nobody marking me absent because I sat my black ass in here. I walked
I'm
over here.
here.
I'm sitting here. I'm present, bitch." So, I'm not arguing. I literally said, okay. And what about my business? Well, this one guy stands up. He's like, oh, shoot. Because he was like, you can leave or whatever. Because I'm just, I'm not marking you present. He gets up and was like, bye. and left. And the president and the professor was like, I was gonna tell you guys I'm gonna mark you present. He's like, you did. He marked the rest of us present. Like, I did not get an absent for that fucking day, and I wasn't going to. You can't do that. You
You
can
can't.
try to if you want to, but I'm gonna argue that shit down because I got my ass up, took a bath, I brushed my teeth, I came up in here and I
We're
sat
here.
down.
We're here.
We're here. But it taught me a lot about who he was. Like, he was no nonsense, and he really expected a lot from us, and I appreciated that. Like, I became a better writer in his classes. He was like one of the few black professors on campus, and he was really honest with me every single year that I was there. Like, I had really candid conversations with him, and he's from Trinidad.
Ooh,
Shout out Trinidad.
Trinidadian.
Yeah, you know we love it.
I can't remember any of the name of my favorite teachers just because we had so many. But I do remember my two favorite courses. I had a hip hop studies class which I really like loved. I had random classes at a point. Like I took like a cartoons and media like type of class. Um, but yeah, hip hop culture. That was like a great class until he like left abruptly in the middle, and we had this woman come and teach us, which was very weird.
That is weird. What the fuck?
Yeah, he left for some reason and then did not show up again. And then we had my women's studies teacher. She was African, women's studies. She was amazing. I
I don't
actually
think I've
loved
ever
her.
experienced that. Like my professor leaving midway through a course and getting a different one. Not that I can recall.
So ghetto. So ghetto because it wasn't even a black person that come and talk to us after that. It was a white woman.
For hip
And
hop studies.
all the black people got A's. Like all of
Oh,
us
good.
got A's.
Of
Cause
course y'all
she
did.
would just, I was like, girl, I wish you fucking would, fellas.
In this class, please.
Because we almost literally stopped showing up. We like
So you
literally
didn't have
almost
a
stopped.
favorite professor?
No, I think my women's studies, and then before the switcheroo was the black teacher, the black man that taught hip hop. But I can't
Nice.
remember their names. I just couldn't remember. I wasn't that phased about their names. I did have like staff that I enjoyed. I loved my
Oh yes.
the office in multicultural affairs, which I actually became an intern with my senior year. Oh, the coolest thing I did was I hosted dialogue series with people in the community.
Okay, I did it with students. We have a lot in
Yeah,
common.
no, students. Like it was the students. I was like the facilitator.
Bitch, we have a lot in common.
Yes, I was
I did
the
the same
intern.
shit.
Yeah, so I would facilitate that, and it was fun. It was
Oh.
very fun. But I liked my coworkers and my colleagues because they were just so. I was like learning so many things about just like my blackness and just like culture and just like intersections. Like I was like going to I was going to a lot of conferences too in undergrad for like my queerness. Like I was going to like Imbotech, I was going to like QPOC
Wow.
conferences. I was like one of the guys that quote unquote was like it's weird. I was presented. I presented as cis. I mean, I was cisgendered. That's typical. I was the only cisgender male that went, um, which was very interesting for them.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh
Okay.
my god. I was like, but
That's
yes,
interesting.
yes.
Tell me the craziest story you have from college. I actually kind of want to hear like a couple if you have a couple, but
Oh my god. Jesus. So one story was I had this like big old crush on this guy, and eventually we started to like somehow some way we started to like hook up, but like it was so like discreet, which was like the most weirdest thing. Like I think that was crazy to me because like we had classes together, nobody knew what was happening except for like my friends. Like I would get dropped off like a block away from his house, and I would walk to his place, and he'll let me in. It was like one of the most like weirdest things in the world, but I enjoyed the fantasy. There was like a lot of like shenanigans that happened. I remember like one of my friends, he did a hit and run, and everybody knew he was my best friend. So everybody came to me and was like, "Where the fuck is Blase Blase?" And I was like, I don't.
excuse me? He did
Yes,
a what?
he did a hit and run. They knew it
A
was him.
person? He hit a person?
No, a car. Sorry, a car.
Oh, child. Oh Lord, I was
And
scared.
he did a hit and run, and
Oh
everybody was like,
Jesus.
"Where's your friend at? Where he's at?" And I was like, "Bitch, only thing I know was he's on the fifth floor. Like that's the only thing I know."
Not you dry snitching. Not
Only thing
you
I
dry
know is
snitching.
he
I'm
on the
like, I
fifth
don't
floor.
know for real. I ain't never been
And
to one.
I was like, only because it was my friend's friends, so it was like weird because they ran to me and I was like in a predicament. So then he was so happy to be outside of his door, and like when I tell you they went hauled off on him and all that shit like that, like it was
Did they
just so
hit him?
weird. No, they didn't hit him, but it was girls,
Oh,
but they didn't hit him. But then he
oh.
started to cuss them out like, "Blase, blase, you H's, you get the B's," and I was like, "Okay, we're not gonna do this." So then he called me and was like, "Devery, we need to fight," and I was like. You know my address. You know where I be's. Everybody know where I
No,
live.
not we need to fight. Oh, bitch, not we need to fight. Because you hit somebody else's car, bitch, please. Oh, please.
He was like, "We need to fight." I was like, "Okay." Um, what was her name? What's her name from Basketball Wives? Um, oh Jesus,
Jackie?
Jackie.
Whatever.
Yes, Jackie. He was like, "We need to fight," and I was like,
I would have laughed right in his
I was like,
face.
"Okay, we're not gonna fight. Like, you shouldn't hit and run." Like, he was like, "You shouldn't have told them where I lived." I was like, "Sir, you were the one outside your door. You were the one outside your door belligerently drunk. I told them the fifth floor because I was trying to be a little loyal but partial, but like, you got yourself
Was
caught."
he drunk when he hit the car?
Absolutely, he was plastered.
Oh, he had it coming. Oh, he had it coming. He had it coming.
Plastered.
I would have told too. Yeah, he had it coming.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
it.
can't. There were so many. Like, I also, so the crazy stories are always the DD. That was the thing. I had a lot of female friends, and I always was their DD, and it would always be drunken nights where they would cuss me out. They would throw their food at me. They would call me all types of names. I would tell them that we're leaving the party, we're leaving the club, we're leaving the function, all of that, and it
Why
would
people
always
act like
be.
that?
They would always be so mad. Like, "You're a party pooper." I said, "No, all y'all are shit faced. It. I am the. I am
Why
y'all
people
big
act like that?
brother. I don't know. I'm y'all big brother. Y'all need to listen to me." Um, and it was
I
always
don't get
adventures
it.
getting home. Like, Vari can attest to it. My sister, they can. It was always a challenge getting those girls in the car, getting them home. Like, there's
Was it
videos of
them?
them. Yes, specifically them.
Why were they throwing stuff at you? I don't understand why
My
people get
sister
upset
was
when
my
you're drunk.
sister, so like she knew she could do. She would just do whatever. So her friend, our friends would catch wave of her doing it, so they would try to do it too. And I was like, "Y'all gonna get beat up," but they all became my like little sisters. But yeah, I used to hide the car keys. I used to take the keys and lock them in my room, and they'd be like, "You need to take us to Taco Bell," and I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't need
If
to take
only
y'all
DoorDash
nowhere."
existed at that time.
Right? They was like, "You need to deliver food to. You need to go. We need to go get food." I said, "No, what y'all need is some water.
Hmm.
Y'all need to sit y'all drunk asses down." But
But you know, Taco Bell slaps when you drunk as hell. I would say, why I used to get a cheese go do the crunch.
she's gonna do the
Cheese go
crunch.
do the crunch.
But those
That
are like
shit
the
fat.
craziest. I think those crazy like moments, and then just like I can't think of like I have videos, but I can't like think on the spot right now. But I'll tell y'all later.
I
What
have
about
a
you, sister?
lot. I have a lot. A shorter one. There was one time this guy snotted on me. I think he did a lot of coke, and he turned his head, and a big glob of snot came out of his nose and landed on my hand at my in my criminology course. And I have not ever made a bigger scene. Oh my god, you snotted on me! I swear, I was in there like, oh, I
No,
was
no,
in
you're
that
extra.
bathroom like really replaying that like several times. Like, did that shit really just fucking happen to me? Like, did he
Just
really just fucking do that shit?
okay, Tiffany Pollard.
Nose cavities
New York.
just as big and open as they could be. He burned a hole through that motherfucking sinus chest. Um, I streaked I streaked down the hall of one dorm. I used to make that was my senior year, so that was why I used to do whatever the fuck I wanted to do my senior year. There was this one time when this fraternity they had won intramurals or whatever, so they had gotten a plaque, and you know you take pictures when you get a plaque. And they decided to name their team "Hands Up, Don't Shoot." This is directly after the Mike Brown like incident. This is after his
Were
murder.
they white?
Yes. It was actually the most racist organization on campus. And you know what? Actually, s- they had already gotten expelled. Like the actual organization, they were no longer allowed to have housing on campus because they had a party my sophomore year, which was a cross the border party. They had dressed up in sombreros and put on Mexican garbs and border patrol. We ended up on like a racist colleges list. This was right when Dear White People came out, by the way, like the film. Oh, it was bad.
We had a moment like that as well. I think when
News was all up and through.
our AKAs crossed and they all went to this club, and there was people that was posting on Twitter like, "There's look at all these monkeys in here," and that stuff. And also there was a moment where I had went to a party and they told me it was too many of us in there, and we already met. They already had met the quota.
Did y'all
So,
do anything about that?
oh yeah, I led the revolt, bitch. We got them.
Yeah,
We got that
because
organization off campus.
my
I think
organization
so.
led
Yeah.
the response to that, and so me and one of my friends ended up meeting with the provost to talk about what we could do, to fix that issue or whatever. So that was actually when I held a campus wide. Now, granted, it was all minorities, but a campus wide conversation, dialogue or whatever, and we brought the administration in, and literally it was just a circle of people of color like airing their grievances over the 4
Yes,
years of their college experience, and they ended up putting a multicultural house up like 2 years later. It was really cool.
we love to see that.
I loved it. And then I think oh, I messed. You're not supposed to do this.
Did you mess with a student? I mean, one of your house. I mean, people that you was a RA.
All right, I don't
Fucking
even know if
whore.
I should tell this story. You know what? I'm gonna just tell it. Ain't no consequence.
Whore.
I absolutely did. So it was my junior year. It was my last year as an RA before I studied abroad. And I'm coming out of the bathroom, and this one student is going to the bathroom. And for whatever reason, he's shirtless and just has underwear on. Um,
You told me the story.
his penis was really large. Like an arm. And I remember I saw it and my eyes popped out of I'm expressive. I couldn't
You
help it.
very much are.
My eyes popped out of my head, my jaw dropped, and I was like, I had to get myself together, and I looked up, and he was smiling like he was just so proud of himself. So I was like, okay. So he would flirt like with me in public, and I was like, all right. And I absolutely ended up
Hooking
hooking
up
up
with
with that
him.
man. I did. He was BL, so there was a problem, but
Shh, don't tell.
that was what an experience that was. And then he hit me up when I was in Costa Rica trying to hook up again. I was like, nigga, I'm not even in the country.
He didn't know that. He didn't know that. If you were in the
Eye
country,
roll.
would you have done it?
So yeah, those are some of the crazy.
Wait, if you were in the country, would you have done it?
Probably. Wait, at that time ago, absolutely. No, without a question. Without a question, I would have done it. Like I was still in a phase, honey. I was still in a phase, and I think I was actually like really tripped. My stupid ass was really tripped up about that nigga. Like when I tell you, like that shit actually like affected me. That he was trying to play me. I don't know what. Child, you know better, you do better. That's where that is.
Yeah.
And then the other craziest story was actually really sad. So then my trauma.
We don't. Yeah, we're not talking about that one.
Mm.
And then the last one is, what did you learn about yourself while you were in school, and what was the most important thing you learned about your college experience?
So the most important thing I learned from my college experience is that friends are super vital to your like personal success. Having friends around is like friendship is just invaluable. Like I didn't know that. I really just I walked away knowing so many people who were just super influential in my life and helped change like who I became. They helped, grow my interest in music, like some of the things I love, the memories that we shared, the intimacy that we have. Yeah, I learned that friendship is one of the most important things, and hard
Mm,
work is necessary.
yeah. I piggyback off that one and then also take risk. College was definitely the space for me to experiment with who I am and my capabilities or what my full potential could be. So I definitely learned you only live once. Like make that the best experience of your life,
Yeah.
because it was totally different graduating. Like you don't be
It
you're it's rare.
is.
You're rare that you'll ever be in the same space with so many people. Like it's so many memories that you can make and all that.
It's a
And
bubble.
it's a bubble. It's a very big. It's a very bubble, but it's also a phase. Like those 4 years, you do it and then you transition somewhere else. And then I think what I learned about myself, I did, like I said, is you only live once. Take risk and just love who you are. Like I came into college not knowing who I was at all. Period. Like, and I think that is most people. We are because we're coming from our parents, mindset and ideologies. And when you're in college, you really are there to create the path that you want to be on in your future. And that was something I didn't know what I wanted that to look like until I got to college. I don't think I would have been I don't think I would be who I am today if I did not go actually to Bowling Green. I don't know if I don't know who I would have been if I went to Morehouse, but I know I
Mm.
appreciate the man that I have became today, because it was just so many eye opening experiences um, that happened like right in front of me, and I was like, "What?"
Side note, the reason I didn't apply to Morehouse, even though I really wanted to go, was because my internalized homophobia told me I was going to become a full blown slut when I got there. Like I was just like, I'm gonna be gay and I'm gonna want to sleep with all of them.
I wanted a brotherhood.
Kid you not.
I
Oh,
wanted
I
a
was not
brotherhood.
interested in that at the time. I told you it took me a while to like actually come to a point where I could see myself in black men, other black men. It took me a while, but my male friend Jared was actually one of the first times that I was like, wow, niggas.
Yeah, no, I was like,
um
I want brothers.
But what did I learn about myself while I was in school? I learned that I really wanted to be an actor. I had gone 3 years studying a whole bunch of things, and I got to junior year. I was doing laundry one day, and I was overcome with this feeling of sadness because I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to not college, but I was like, I don't want to be a worker bee. I want to be an actor. I want to do acting. It's my passion. I'm so good at it. I want to do
Yeah,
this all the time. So that's what I learned.
yeah. I was just like, I loved my voice. I think my voice became so big and loud when I was there. I think that's what made me want to have a platform. Like I started YouTube in college, and that was really fun.
Me too.
Yeah, it was fun. It was so fun in college because it just was so many memories. So
You had time too, right?
yes, I had the time to do it. Now I'll be like, where's the time go? Where's
This
the
40
time?
hour work week, girl. Like you could, even if you were busy on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, if you had Wednesday and Thursday, it was like, all right, I'm gonna make my videos on Thursday or I'm gonna make it on Wednesday. But you just don't have that anymore. It is
You don't.
you really have to squeeze it on the little bit of time you have on like the weekends or something. Like I
Yeah, and
hate
then the weekends is so much. It's not that much time. So yeah,
and
it
you still
was.
have errands. You still have things to do.
You still do. So yeah. Well, I appreciate this conversation about college. I hope that you all appreciate this story as well. Like most of our demographic, according to our stats and data, we do have people that are still in college or in their mid 20s. So we wanted to, hopefully give you all, our experiences with that. Please let us know what you all's experiences were as well in our Instagram and our DMs as well. But you also can do it in our personals, which mine is Instagram and Twitter. Hit me up at underscore Lord Every on all platforms, underscore LORDEVERY.
And you guys know that you can follow me on Instagram at derwinking. That's DERWINKING. And you can follow me on Twitter at Free Negro. That's FREENEGREAUX.
And if you all would like to continue the conversation with the podcast, you can hit us up at That Black Boy Joy on Instagram and Twitter. And you can also shoot us an email at thatblackboyjoypodcast@gmail.com. And like we always say, sorry, you can also hit us up. Watch our videos, our visuals on YouTube at That Black Boy Joy. And like we always tell you all, please be so in love with who you are.